It's the final challenge. That's right. It's the final challenge. We're here. We made it. It's the last day of our daily creative challenges. Hello, if you're just joining us, this is the last day. Oh, unfortunately. But if you are joining us and you're like, oh man, I missed it. No, you didn't, because guess what? This is going on to Creative Replay starting next Monday. So if you're just tuning in, spoiler alert, this is the end, but you can tune back in on Monday and you can track along with us on these daily creative challenges one more time on a Creative Replay. Everyone will be there. Our friend Wade will be there as well. And yes, 2 more weeks of me, eternally and forever. And thank you. I like this shirt quite a lot. So here are some ways that you can get involved, and here's what you need to know today. We actually have more announcements than usual. And yes, many new quizzes from our moderator, Wade Acuff. If you're watching this on the Creative Replay, congratulations, you made it. Say hi to Wade, and Wade will say congratulations to you if you're watching this Creative Replay. So you can follow me right here, hawk.co. Yes, it is like a hawk with a baby rattle. If you've been here, you know that already. So you can follow along there, here on Behance, Instagram, or Twitter, wherever you want. And we are going to be doing something special today after the stream. And that is, are you ready for it? We are doing a Discord Hangout. We're going to be hanging out in Discord immediately following this stream. So when I sign off at the end, after the stream, bit.ly/AI Discord, go there. And what you're going to look for is you are going to look for a channel over on the side that just says challenges. In voice and live, go to challenges right there, and there will be a little hangout. We'll be getting some feedback about how you guys like the challenges, what's going on, and all of that fun stuff. So make sure you go and hop over there at the end. We'll cover that at the end again. Now, the last thing that I want to tell you about is going to behance.net/challenge/Illustrator. It's where you can get all the source files and watch all of the watch all the videos from our last challenges. Today, we are going to be, well, I'm not going to tell you yet today, actually. So this is our challenge. Also, did any of you watch Legends of the Hidden Temple when they'd go in and they'd like hit the buttons? I've always wanted to do that. Excuse me. From there, you can download, you can open the files and get started. So we're going to go ahead and hop in. I joined by mistake. It was a voice channel. Yes, it is a voice channel. We are getting some feedback. So hop in there after. All right. So today we are going to be making a logo. It's going to be a great time. But if you're just joining us, we've been doing a theme of showers versus flowers. We are in the flowers week, and why not? To finish it off, we've been doing all kinds of flowers this week. We're going to make a flower logo. We're staying there. We're going to be using some awesome tools, but before we get in there, one last time, let's head over to the garden, and I'll see you there. So today we're hanging out in the garden with our Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Just feels right. Feels right for today because we are going to be doing some arcs and some curves, which remind me of Ghostbuster streams. So we want to make sure, don't cross the streams. But we are going to hop in and yes, Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, that's right. All right, so let's go ahead and hop over into Adobe Illustrator and open up that source file. I did set some guides for you because I'm nice and I like to help you. So what we're going to do is we are going to, best Tiki Mug collection ever. Yes, I'll continue it on more streams. I have about probably 20 of them. So we'll make our way through on some more streams. All right, so we are designing a floral logo inspired by spring using the arc and spiral tools. These are two of my favorite tools in Illustrator. They're super diverse, and guess what? I've turned on for you. That's right, hotkeys. So you guys can see the hotkeys that I'm using today because they are very, very important for what we're doing today. Also, my hat looks weird. There we go. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to hop in, and what I want to do is just make a floral logo. Now, there's a bunch of ways to do this, but what I'm going to do is use the arc tool. Before we start using the tools to build the logo, I'm going to show you how they work. There are a lot of hot keys. Thank you, Wade. The hottest of keys that are integral to the way that you use these tools. So I'm going to grab space and just pull over here, and I'm going to get the arc tool. Now, usually you'll see in your panel, it has the line segment tool. Hotkeys, I'll take it. What we can do is we can click and hold and go up to the arc tool. Now the arc tool, again, Illustrator is always telling a story, right? We're always giving input of where to go and what to do. With the arc tool, we're basically going to tell Illustrator we want you to start here. So when we click, it's saying start here. And then as we drag, it's saying, hey, go to this next point, except we want you to have a curve to where we're going to stop, right? So this looks great, right? Nice little curve here, looking good. But here's where the hotkeys come into play. Maybe we want the curve to be more or less, right? We can see there that it's a pretty good curve, but if we want to, we can, with click held, right? So we've clicked and dragged and we're still holding down that mouse button. We can hit up or down and watch what happens, the arrow keys. As we hit up, it's going to make that curve less curvy. As we hit down, it's going to make that curve more curvy, right? So maybe we want it all the way out to almost a square. We just hit down arrow a whole bunch of times and it will pull all the way down. We hit up and it will make it a little bit more. Now, let's say that we also maybe want it to go the other way. Right now, it's starting one way, going to the bottom. Maybe we want it to swoop down the other way. All you need to do there is hit X. You saw me hit the wrong button there. There's no hiding my mistakes when I have the hotkeys on. So if you hit X, it will actually flip to the other side, right? So do a little jump rope, boop, 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 by just hitting X. And this is a great way to kind of find where you want to go with your arc. Now, let's say you want to make a line, right? Let's use this, make a nice line. And you want to continue. You can simply click and drag again. But look, we're having the same problem to where it's clicking and starting at that point and then ending somewhere else. All you have to do is hit X. There we go. And so we hit X and it's going to flip it to that point, and then we just use our arrow keys to make that smooth curve. And now it looks like we have a line that is a little more of a smooth curve. So that's how you use the arc tool, right? Remember, starting one place, ending one place, an arc between, and you can hit the arrow keys to go up and down to make it less or more, and hit X to flip it like a jump rope. Now, we're going to get into the spiral tool. The spiral tool is going to be crazy. And Gus is in chat. What's up, Gus? Welcome to the garden. We're making some flowers today. So using the spiral tool is a little bit crazy. It has a lot more hotkeys, which is specifically why I turned them on for you today. So we're going to hover over the arc tool and click on spiral. Now, there are a couple ways. We can click, and if we just click, it's going to bring up this dialog box, and we can put in how far we want it to be, how much decay, which is the distance between the spirals, and then the segments, which is the amount of points that it has. We can also do the style. We don't want this. Who needs menus when you have hotkeys? Right? So check this out. What we can do is we are going to grab the spiral tool and we are simply going to click and drag. Actually, let's start over here. There we go. We're going to click and drag, and you can see that it is starting that spiral wherever my mouse is and then clicking in to where I started that click. Now, check this out. What we can do is if we want more, we can hold shift. So holding shift is going to make it perpendicular so that it doesn't get too wonky or crazy or twisted. But we can hit the up and down arrow keys. Oh, there we go. Let's just hit up and down right there. And it's going to increase the amount of segments of that line. So you can see there that it's increasing the amount of segments. Our hotkeys are getting a little in the way. So let's say that we want 20 segments here. We can actually click and drag and hit up or down, and it's going to change those. Now, what's happening is you're not seeing as many segments because the decay is all the way up. So check this out. The decay is the distance between each of those loops. So we can hold control, which you're not going to see on the screen. It won't pick up control for my hotkeys. And as we hold control, if we bring it in, you can see there that it's adding more and more decay, or less and less decay, right? So it's getting closer and closer together. As we pull it out, you're going to get a lot more decay. So if we pull it in to where we see right there that we have quite a bit of decay, what's great is that it's getting closer, making that perfect spiral, and now we can use those up and down arrow keys, and you can see how it's making more or less, right? More or less segments of that. Now, if you want to move it around as you are continuing to make it, maybe we want it actually over here, but if we drag it gets bigger. This is going, yeah, I'm hypnotizing you. This is the best lesson of all time. You can hold you can hold space, and holding space is going to allow you to move where you're placing that. So very easily, Hold space and it will allow you to move where you're placing that. All right, we have got all of the tools to make a flower now. So the hope is that you will make your flowers, you post them on Discord, and also that you come hang out on Discord with us after the show. Sorry, hit the wrong button. Oh, what's this link here? Go there. So what we can do is we can make that flower by just hopping in here, grabbing the arc tool, and I'm going to think about where I want this flower to go, right? I want to make a little tulip. So I'm going to make that bottom bulb of the tulip. Now that's going the wrong way, so I can simply hit X and it will pull it the right way. That looks good to me. And then what I'm going to do is I want another one that is going to kind of zoom down from the top. And because I have my smart guides turned on, you can see I have that perfect line on the purple. And I'm going to click and drag, and I have another one right there. So it looks like maybe that might be a little bit too much, but we'll leave it there. That looks good. So what I can do is I'm going to grab these. Actually, let's make them a shape first. So I'm going to grab the pen tool and just hover over where I've created these arcs, right? I'm clicking on the end points right here, and it's starting to make those for me. Now, maybe I want another shape in this to kind of come out of the middle, is I can grab that arc tool again, and we're going to start along this path maybe right here, and just pull another piece up here. And maybe we're doing a nice little rose, right? And maybe we want one more that's coming in here that's going to kind of come down this way, right? So maybe we have some kind of bulb happening in this flower. What we can do is we can actually grab all of this that we've just created, and I'm going to grab these pieces and then right click. Let's right click over here. Go to transform, reflect, and do vertical and hit copy. As we pull this over, whoop, you can see that it aligns right there to intersect. And now I have some awesome flower patterns for our flower. Now I'm going to scale this down quite a bit by just dragging all of this and using S, which is the scale tool. And from here, I think that I want to do something maybe that comes over the top. But first, I want to use that spiral tool to do a nice little kind of leaf coming out the edge. So we can grab the spiral tool, and I want it to start right here. So, oops. So what we're going to do is I clicked there to start, which is I actually set the center is where you click, and then the end is where you drag to. But that's no problem because I can simply hold shift to make sure that it's staying proportionate, and then hold space to pull it over here. And yes, that's going to go super crazy. My hotkeys are just clicking when I'm holding shift and space. That will go away in just a second. There we go. So it's holding shift and space, and that looks pretty good to me. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use the arrow keys to make sure that it kind of just loops around that way, and then maybe change the decay a little bit, right? So maybe I want it to decay a little bit less and have some more swoops on there. So there we go. We also, if we want to, can hit Control and pull that decay out. There we go. So that we have a little more control over what we want that to look like. So I'm going to align that to the center. And again, do the same thing. I'm going to transform, reflect, and copy, and then just drag another copy over here. Now, we could, if you wanted to, you could use something that we've been using, and that is the mirror repeat. We've used that before. You can use the mirror repeat on the other side. Now, what we want to do with this logo so far is maybe we want another spiral kind of coming out of the edge. We can grab the spiral tool, and again, we're just going to click and drag it out. I definitely want to move this around so that it comes out this way. There we go. That looks pretty cool to me. And we can zoom in to make sure that this point lines up perfectly right there, so there's nothing weird happening. If you want to, you can rotate using the R tool. Just click on that anchor point, and then you can click and drag so that it rotates out perfectly. So that looks good to me. And yes, shift checkers. Yes, when I hold down hotkeys, it gets a little bit crazy. We can transform, reflect, and we'll put another one on the other side. Now, if we wanted to, again, we could very easily just mirror this, but for now, we're going to do it this way. So there we go. We've got a lot of arcs, a lot of woobles, and a lot of wobbles. We're going to add one more arc to the top by just going to that arc tool. And we're going to arc from maybe here, and then maybe we want to go kind of halfway and then come into the middle. So I'm going to have this go pretty big. And then we're simply going to click and drag again to come down here. And maybe we do want a little cutout pedal. I'm just using the arrow keys again. In theory, I'd want it maybe to come down more like this. but let's try it to where there's a little bit of a cut out petal. So we can use those arrow keys and hit X to go back and forth. And yes, it is getting super fancy, Wade. Absolutely. Only the fanciest for you here. And we're going to transform, reflect, and do that again. In theory, we'd build one side and then just reflect the whole thing. But we're doing it this way for now. All right, so it's looking good. We're going to move those using Shift and up, but I want to turn off the guides. They're in my way, so I'm going to go to View, Guides, and Hide Guides. Now, here's where it gets fun. Here's where the spiral tool and the arc tool get their best. What we can do is we can actually highlight these, right? So we'll highlight our little spirals that we've created here, and we can change the different brushes. So we can change the different brushes if we have any, or you can go into the open brush library and find something here. Maybe we want something decorative. Let's see here. Elegant curl and floral brush set, right? And that opens down here. And because we have those spiral paths, oops, select those. Because we have those spiral paths, selecting any of these are going to be really interesting because it will follow that spiral. Yes, here comes the magic. Watch this. Boom. Now we have these really cool ornate spirals that we didn't really have to do a lot with, right? We just created these spirals using the spiral tool. And from there we can come in here and maybe increase these a little bit to give them a little more oomph. That looks pretty good. Give them some of that extra hua. Yes, wow, here comes the magic. It is very magical. So we can add those there, and maybe we want different ones. So maybe we want one here, and maybe over here we want another one. So we're going to go in there. We want those two. Looks pretty good to me. Change color a little bit. Let's take those all the way down to black. There we go. So now we've got some nice kind of things. Where can you find those brushes? One more time, we can go up here. Just go to your brush panel, click on this little menu right here, and then go to Open Brush Library, and it is in Decorative Brushes, Elegant Curl and Floral Brush Set. Yes, this is one thing I really hoped we would cover because I was lost. Yes, I'm so glad, so glad. So we're here, and now from there, we can even grab these other paths that we're working on, and maybe we don't want it as decorative, but we do want a different kind of brush. So maybe we come in here and click through these and see what happens. So we're gonna increase this stroke, and you can see there that with that stroke, it's kind of creating a little bit of a different look. But we can cycle through these and try to find something that maybe is interesting to us. Maybe something like that. You can apply chisels, all kinds of fun things right here. Let's try that one. That should look good. Ooh, that looks great. And so as you work with the spirals and with the curve tools, the arc tools, you can create gorgeous pieces like this. And the great thing is now that we have our brushes set, I believe with the arc tool, let's go ahead and turn this off actually. Come on, there we go. With the arc tool, I believe if I click and drag, it will continue. There we go, we can set right there. And make those little accents very easily to increase and make some petals, make it super fancy. If there are pieces that we don't like, right, that maybe this looks a little weird, that there are just some extra pieces kind of coming through here, we can grab our direct selection tool using A to grab where these are coming together, and then we can go to, oh, I know the hotkey, but I don't know if Object Path Join. There it is, Command J. Object Path Join, oops. And it will join these two paths together. And that way, it is one stroke all the way across those different edges. So that looks a lot better, I think, in my professional opinion. And maybe we also have these two join in here as well. So all I'm doing is grabbing the direct selection tool A, and then you hit Command J or Control J, and it will move those together so that our path then follows that brush, looking very fancy indeed. Yes, absolutely. And the great thing about the spiral tool is you can kind of connect it to any other arc very easily. So we can come in here, we can grab our spiral tool, and we can just maybe start here, pull it over this way, and maybe we hold space to pull it out this way. Actually, let's put it up here. So that looks pretty good. That boxes me just hitting space. And then what you can do is you can actually scale down from this point where it's starting. So you hit S, which is scale. And we're going to click on this point. You'll see that it goes to anchor. And then from there, I can click and drag. And you'll see that it's dragging it down. Now I can also rotate by hitting R, rotate and click on that point, and then just click and drag until it's at a point that I want it to be. So let's go there. And you know what? Let's put one of these elegant curls on it right there. Ooh, looking good. And maybe we have another one that happens down this way, right? That kind of crosses over. So the great thing about this tool is you can really use brushes and leverage brushes to create things that are super complex, that look very professional, look very kind of high end, without having to do a ton of individual work. You can simply leverage those paths and then find some awesome brushes. And remember, use those hotkeys to expedite your process. Maybe we'll move this down here a little bit. Maybe we'll just rotate it. We'll just rotate it in. There we go. And do one down here. Looks great. And the nice thing is, as long as it's overlapping somewhere, it's gonna look great. So, looks super fun. And the final element definitely looks cool as a pin. Yes. And the cool thing, check this out. If I hit Control Y, these are our very simple paths. We didn't have to do a ton. Very, very simple. Those are the paths, and it ends up looking something like this. So your challenge is to make an awesome logo using the arc and spiral tools, not the spark and idle tools, the arc and spiral tools, make an awesome floral logo and then post it in Discord. If you are watching this on the Creative Replay, here's your challenge. If you're watching Creative Replay, your bonus challenge is to take all of the things, and really if you're watching it now, take all of the projects you've done and go back to our very first lesson. Remember, we created a Behance project that was a case study with placeholders. Go back to that project and post that study. You already have it in your drafts if you followed along. You've already created it. It's already set up. So go ahead, open up your last challenges, take screenshots, export them out, and go post on Behance using that tag AI Daily Challenge. We'll be able to see it, and everyone will be able to appreciate everyone else's work. So I know that it's set up, and I know that it's in your drafts because I've been watching, I've seen on Discord. I know you all did that first challenge. So it's already there. Go do it. Export the things, make an awesome logo. And what's fun is you can also play around with this logo and try to make it so that it's filled in shapes. Try to make it so that it is maybe complex shapes on top of each other, more arcs, more spirals. You can get really crazy. And yes, I could just mirror it. Let's actually, hold on. We have like 2 minutes, so I'm going to do that. Cue the Command Z's because I need to change these paths. There we go. So I'm literally just going to delete half of this. And what you could do is you could build half of your logo and then go to Object, Repeat, and Mirror. And it's actually going to mirror that logo for you. So it's very similar to what we just did. Very easy to mirror that across the way. I did select it and make it so that I had all the paths and all that. It just seemed easier in my workflow. But you could mirror it very easily if you only want to build half. It's not lazy. It's smart. So that's what you need to do for your homework. I love to see those case studies, and make sure that you're posting your work over here on bit.ly/AI Discord. Make sure you're posting the work there. And if you have missed any of the challenges, they will be replaying next week, or you can come back here to behance.net/challenge/Illustrator to get all of those source files. Now, what I want everyone to do right now, in this moment, we have a minute and a half left. Go to this link. Go to this link here. I'll get out of the way. Go to this link right now. Go to this link. And then what I want is I want you right here to go to the challenges. Here, you know what? We're even doing this. We're going over here. I want you to go right here into the challenges channel. Go right here into this channel right there. Click on that to listening. That's right. I want to see that number go up. So make sure you're going there. We are going to be getting some feedback on the daily creative challenges, hearing from you right now. Right now after this stream. I'm going to push the button in about a minute, and I want to see all the numbers there for listening. I want to see that get to at least 10. So hop into that channel, and hello. It's nice to see. I love when things pop up in Discord. So this is where you get it. Go to that channel. Come hang out. We're going to be getting some feedback. And you know what, y'all? Thanks so much for joining me. Let's take a little sip out of our Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. It's been really fun. Hopefully you've had a great time with these daily creative challenges. Again, you can watch the creative replay next week and the week after, 11:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time every day. Make sure you're coming back as well at 2:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time right here on Behance for another episode of Adobe Office Hours. And I can say that because it's happening now, it's happening after the replay, and it's happening every single week for the next long while. So 2:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, come hang out with Adobe Office Hours with Nick Longo and I right here on Behance.net. And I will see you in Discord right now. Bye.